hack is probably more than that. Russia, China, anybody that, with technology people that they have a, we call it in the United States spa wars for the Navy. We have admirals and generals that run the program. And so it's a little bit, I think, silly to talk about a Russian hack when, of course, there was a Russian hack. Yeah, there was probably Chinese hacks. There was probably UK hacks. There was probably every country with any wherewithal looked at emails, So it's a little bit silly to talk about it. And it's also dangerous to say you're going to retaliate against it. I just want to play a small clip about President Obama, what his take was on it.
What we've simply said is the facts, which are that based on uniform intelligence assessments, the Russians were responsible for hacking the DNC, and that as a consequence, it is important for us to review all elements of that and make sure that we are preventing that kind of interference through cyber attacks in the future.
So how can we prevent something that we do it to? I mean, we kind of cornered the market on hacking. We have the best hackers in the world, and we don't know. Later on he explains a little bit about it that, hey, WikiLeaks already had it and all that good stuff, but it's all just bullshit. We hack everybody too, and actually I'm a veteran, so it really pisses me off that because of this stupid shit, we might have to engage ourselves in some sort of, cyber warfare, which will turn ugly, and it'll be another fucking proxy war that we're going to have in Syria because stupid shit like this, and we don't need it. Here's another clip.
So just as I told Russia to stop it and indicated there will be consequences when they do it.
Yeah, consequences when they do it. They've already done it. And hopefully there won't be any consequences. Maybe the consequences was that President Obama said, stop it. And that is, as far as I'm concerned, that is appropriate consequences. So we talk about this email hack like it's some serious deal. When we have our damn democracy is being hacked. Our democracy was hacked in the goddamn primaries, and nobody wants to fucking talk about that. Here's just a clip from Arizona.
Voting must be simple. This last election, as you see, it was not simple. We, the people, know that our electoral process has been corrupted. The fraudulent fiasco guised as a presidential primary on March 22nd, 2016 needs to be nullified, and constituents need to be allowed to vote. Some of us to re-vote. The corruption has become so established that it got comfortable. So comfortable that it got lazy. So lazy that you got caught.
Can be done.
I stand outraged. County Recorder Purcell, this was a problem that you knew about. This was a problem that you could have handled. You should resign at the end of this hearing.
If they knew there was going to be a problem, you know why they didn't tell anybody? Because they have their candidate already. Her name is Hillary Clinton. There's been 4,000 confirmed people that had the registration changed. Everyone that I know that had the registration changed was a Bernie Sanders supporter. I want a federal investigation and a nonpartisan recount of this entire vote. We need another day of voting, okay? We need to count all provisional ballots.
You all made it a felony. If you help somebody, your neighbor, bring in a ballot, you are a felon if you successfully help them to vote. You tell me, what is the crime now when you deny people the right to vote? You ought to be thankful, Ms. Purcell, because if you were a Democrat, every elected Republican would be
show
you.
Some
You would resign.
Respect, Mr. Perez.
Excuse me, you want to talk about respect when you deny people the right to vote? When you push that voter ballot bill, you want to talk about respect, sir? You have no respect.
Sure.
This is a serious crime, and I demand that someone be held accountable. If not you, Ms. Purcell, then who? This is a high crime, and there must be punishment.
That was Arizona. And in case since we have such a damn short memory in this country, what happened in Arizona was Maricopa County, home of Joe Arpaio. In 2012, they had 200 polling locations. In this primary election, 60. That in itself calls for a federal investigation. Who made that decision? And it was based on, well, we're gonna have mail-in votes and all this other bullshit, but it put people in line for 5 hours, and there should be a federal investigation. We have an investigation about Hillary Clinton's emails when there has been nobody that questioned the authenticity of the emails, what is actually in the emails that is true. We do a investigation on how they were leaked, but we have voter fraud and voter suppression in Arizona, but there is no investigation. Why is that? Here's California. It happened all over the country in the primaries, but
there's no way to double check now.
The law says that you, as a voter, can go to your precinct and find the tallies taped to the wall somewhere near where you voted, and they're up for, I've heard 24 hours, I've also heard for 48 hours. But again, I believe it varies county by county. So I have not been able to find anybody yet that has found a tally in Los Angeles.
When I printed the election summary reports, when I was closing down the machine at the end of the night, the crossover Democratic ballot report still showed up as 0. So this is the no party preference Democratic crossover ballot. As you can see, total vote count, it says 0. So it has 0 for presidential preference, 0 for Senate, 0 for all these things. Want to see how many ballots were actually in the box for this? Oh, all those ballots. So we have 39 no party preference Democratic ballots. These were stuck into the machine today, and none of these are counted on the report. Then you come over here and the nonpartisan ballot, there's 1. But over here, it says 40. So I don't know if somehow the machine made a mistake and added them together, but here's the problem. Even if all these other numbers are correct, guess what's not on here? Any presidential candidate. And obviously, as you can see from what's showing, a dominant number of.
That was a big part from the Young Turk. That was a clip from a Young Turks video, and it showed pretty good on everything that happened in Arizona. And but yet again, what happens to officials and parties that organize voter suppression, that organize machines that don't work, organize the machines that can be hacked in 10 minutes? Nothing happens to them. What is said most of the time is next time we'll have safeguards against this shit. Well, nobody ever follows up on them. There are no safeguards. It's just the same BS that the fucking DNC and the RNC run all primary elections. They run all state elections, actually. Why isn't President Obama taking this time to say, hey, maybe it's a good idea if we have a Voters' Right Act and kick that ball down the road? But no, that doesn't work good for the DNC. So he talks about how he can help the DNC. And I just think everybody's tired of that. We need to start a Voters' Right Act to lay down everything. States shouldn't have the rules. The parties shouldn't define state rules on voting, on who can run for office, but they do. And it's a corrupt system, and we've let it happen. We've got lazy in our country. I think pretty much with this Russian hack BS, it's just smoke and mirrors for everybody. Let's distract everybody from the real problem, that we have 2 political parties that categorize everybody so the big money can be spread. They can make it efficiently. If you had 5 parties, think about how much money like General Motors, GE, Comcast, they would all have to corrupt 5 parties. So these 2 parties have made it efficient for them. and they in turn reciprocate, you know. But here again, we have another non-issue, smoke and mirrors. You know, really the only thing missing that I think is, since it looks like it's clearly aimed towards how Hillary got hurt and how she was treated and all this other bullshit, you know, really the only thing missing for me is a tie for Bernie Sanders, because he's a damn socialist to the Communist Party and he somehow helped fucking Russia hack. I'm waiting for that, because I think that's next, because this is a ridiculous show. You know, the president primaries were a ridiculous show. This is another ridiculous show. And it's sad for the country.